Hi guys, so we're in my kitchen today. I just wanted to show you my small houseplant collection. I have more cuttings, aka propagations, more of them than I do actual plants. When I first moved into this house about a year ago, I had around 20 good houseplants. I had a fiddle leaf fig, I had a huge Golden Pothos plant that was just trailing so beautifully, and I moved from an apartment to a completely new climate, and a lot of those nice big tropical plants. I had a palm tree as well. More than half of my plants just slowly died. I don't know if it's like the humidity is just different, or I don't know. I think a lot of them died during winter because it was an extremely cold winter up here. Well, at least it was different to what they have experienced before. But anyways, these are the rest of my plants that have stayed put and are thriving actually. They've all got new growth. So I'm just gonna show you them, tell you where I've put them, how I place them in the house, what pots they're in, how I water them, sort of thing, how I take care of them. Hopefully you enjoy. I'm just gonna get into it. Alright, so first up, I might as well talk about my beautiful string of hearts. This is my favorite plant. It is so... I think I really did well with choosing the pot for this. I had no idea what to go with because it came in like one of those little plastic nursery pots, and I bought this for $10, 10 Australian dollars from online seller. It had literally 2 vines and they were just wrapped up on the top of this thing, and they made it look so full, but then once I took it home I realized, oh yeah, that was a little trick that they did, but it still looked great. All of this new growth is cuttings. It is so easy to propagate. So I've got like 10 extra little vines that I myself have propagated in water, and after like a month they've got enough roots, and I just plop it back in. I might water her fully maybe like once a month, and she's doing really great. Actually, she prefers it a little bit dry. Like even right now it's the soil is dry, so she probably needs to have a water in about a week's time, something like that. She is my favorite plant. It's just so beautiful. She does really well in this terracotta pot. I love the shape of the pot, and with her little thing. Yeah, she does really well in this, and the pot soaks up any extra water that she doesn't need, so that's perfect. And by the way, I keep this one, it's on top of like the mantle spot. That's why I think it's doing so well. Loving the big window. So that's that. On the subject of string of hearts, I've also got a whole load of cuttings that I took about 4 days ago. I got about 24 cuttings, but I've put them in 5 dishes like these. I've had to fill the water almost all the way to the top because the way I have them is their leaves are like sitting on the rim of the glass jar. The roots actually, they grow from the very bottom from where you last cut it. I don't think I've ever had a fail attempt of these cuttings, and actually most of the cuttings that I did were during winter and they still grew. I keep them up on my windowsill in the kitchen. I like keeping some plants on the windowsill because then I can, you know, I wouldn't neglect them as much, and while I'm just washing dishes I might just, you know, pour a little bit of water in there. I might as well move on to the other ones that I keep along the windowsill as well. So one of them is my Marble Queen Pothos, I think it's called. I have the mother plant. Actually all of these in the terracotta, all of these are cuttings. They used to be in a little black nursery pot as well, but they were doing so horribly. I don't know why I was watering it the same amount, but ever since I put it in this terracotta pot, maybe it's because it's just right next to a huge window and I water it quite often. It's popping up all of these beautiful little new leaves. But I will definitely have to repot this. It's in a very tiny pot. I'll definitely have to repot this very soon, maybe in like a month's time or something. Even now I'm surprised that it's growing so much, but it's doing really well. Hopefully once I repot it, it'll start to trail. I have not seen any of my Marble Queen trail yet. They're just kind of bushy. I'll show you the mother plant now, might as well. The mother plant, on the other hand, is not doing too great. I dropped it on the floor a couple of times because it is in a bit of a risky spot. Yeah, no new growth. Kind of looking really sad. I'm gonna water her straight after I film this video because it's just, yeah. And she's kind of in a darker spot. You can see that. You know what I should do? I think I'm gonna plant this in terracotta pot as well. Man, I wish I planted everything in terracotta pots. Everything that I put in terracotta just does so well. She usually does bounce back. I think it's because of the pot, honestly. I haven't had much luck with plants that are in these black pots. I'm gonna change her pot, maybe change her spot, and hopefully she'll bounce back. She usually does bounce back. I've had her for a little bit now. But yeah, that's that one. This one has a very tragic story to it. Oop, it's also in a terracotta pot. It is my string of pearls. I would love to say that this is as easy to take care of as the string of hearts, but that's just not true. I don't know what it is with string of pearls. They're just so sensitive. I had a full mother plant of this. Full, huge, bigger than this pot. Full, lush, long. It was trailing like, you know, this long. I think I just overwatered it that one time and then I just couldn't get it back and tried to dry her out a little, but she just didn't want to come back, and I saved one last cutting. It was the last strand. It was the last strand that was living, and actually it was only about this long when I first cut it. But I've had this in the pot for like 2 months now, maybe a bit more, and it's doing so well. Like I said, maybe it was the pot that the mother plant was in. It was also one of these black nursery pots. I just don't think that a lot of these sort of indoor plants, I don't think they do well in those sort of pots. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I give it water just randomly, honestly. I feel I just squeeze it a little, and if it's hard, it doesn't need any water. It's got new growth. It has some new growth at the top and a little bit at the bottom. I really love it, and hopefully once it starts to grow a bit more, I'll take more cuttings off it and just keep plopping them in, and hopefully it will become a full plant again. It actually kind of looks cute with just the one little vine, but yeah. Alright, so the last little one that I have in terracotta also is very random. It's a mix of different succulents that I literally found in my backyard. So oh, there's a spider. Hello. Sometimes I don't even water this, but it's just like random succulents that I found growing in between the concrete near like the tap and stuff. I don't know, I just thought it'd be cute to have it. I need to clean it up a bit. Alright. My snake plant. This snake plant, it hasn't grown at all. Probably just because I haven't fertilized it. But if you had to buy one plant, if you're like a complete beginner, I'm still a beginner. If you're like a complete beginner, I suggest getting a snake plant. Snake plant, I don't even have to do anything to this guy. I mean, you should. If you want it to grow faster or whatever, you should water it regularly. That's just the thing. I don't really know how to take care of it because I don't know how not to take care of it. It just kind of grows. What I said before wasn't entirely true. If you're a beginner and you're looking for plants, yes, snake plant is good because it's extremely easy to, you know, not easy to kill, but they are extremely toxic. So toxic to, I mean, anything. If anything was to eat it, but like you know, if you have cats in the house, dogs, birds, little children, it's very, very toxic. So just keep that in mind. It's a beginner plant, but it isn't, if that makes sense. And so it's about not this big. Pretty good size. I bought it for like 12 Australian dollars, which is really great for this size. It doesn't have any new growth, and I've had it over a year now. That's probably a bad sign, but it doesn't have any brown spots. I put it in a very dark spot. It's not good. They really do need light, but I'm just keeping it there for now. It's not that dark all the time in there. It has been a bit gloomy, but I water her maybe once every couple months, and she's been doing great. She hasn't faded. So far, she's been doing me really, really good. And I should probably just start taking care of her a little bit better, and then I'll probably see some growth. It's one of the only plants that are in a plastic pot that hasn't really given me any trouble. But that's her. I'm just gonna get all of my cuttings out of the way. So I have 2 cuttings of another type of pothos, a neon pothos, I think. No matter how many times I clean these glasses, they always get green. These were in a terracotta pot, but the pot was too small, didn't have a larger one, so I just thought, plopped it in some water, and it's literally been here all year. I know that's not good, but this one's starting to grow a little. I keep it near a windowsill. Actually, all of my plants here are near a windowsill except for my snake plant. But I'll pot them up because their roots are like really, really developed. But yeah, I have 2 neon pothos that I don't really need to take care of that much either. I have a whole row of my now dead Golden Pothos. I actually bought from IKEA a whole bunch of, like, they're called spice jars. Yeah, I bought a whole bunch of spice jars. They come in 2s. Just plopped all of these cuttings into them. I keep them all up in my kitchen above the cupboards, and they seem to be, I mean, they've grown so fast. I cut these 2 weeks ago, and they all have very developed root systems already. I don't know if you can see. Probably another couple weeks I'm going to plant them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I saved 9 cuttings from this beautiful plant, and they're all growing, so I'm gonna pot them up soon. I have, this is an old pepper or salt shaker jar, and this was from my Monstera Adansonii. So this is the last cutting that I have of my Monstera. It's got all of these roots. I can pot it up, but I kind of like the way it looks in this, so I'll probably just get it a bigger jar or whatever. I keep this in my bathroom near the windowsill, so it gets a lot of humidity, and that's why it's doing so well. Actually, this one, I only see new roots, but I don't see any new growth as in leaves. Sadly, it came from a really nice plant that also just didn't make it once I moved up here. Yeah, that's that. I just recycled this cordial bottle. I think it's pretty cool. But it has some more of the Golden Pothos. I think it was from the same plant as all the ones up here, as these ones. I cut this ages and ages ago. I've had this in here for quite a long time. I mean, just look at the roots. Look at those. It's doing really great. It's a nice little decor piece. I think I'll just keep it like that, as long as it's not, you know, dying. My very last propagation is actually not an indoor plant. Well, I guess it could be, but I got it from my backyard. And it's just It's just an ivy. I don't know what kind of ivy. All I know is that it's variegated and it's pretty. So I put it in this little white jar. I keep this near the window as well, near my dining table. I love the leaves. Loads and loads of it growing in my backyard. So I took this cutting at the beginning of this year. These 2 leaves are new. It's grown 2 whole new leaves. So it's doing alright. And the roots are crazy. They're like really, you know, just one cutting. Pretty good. That's all of my propagations. And then I have these 2 little cacti. I don't know what kind they are. We got a little fuzzy kind and a spiky kind. They just sit near the windows. When I first bought them, the colors were really great. They're still cute. I'm just unsure with cacti. I think they're still alive. Yeah. Philodendron Brazil, which has recently put out a new leaf. You can see that? New leaf. And it's starting to grow from the base. Just here. And also I put a cutting down here. I don't know if you can see that. It's growing a little bit. When I first got it, it just really did nothing. So I just kind of kept it away, and I think that really stunted its development, its growth. I keep this one in my bathroom now, and it seems to be really loving the humidity, and it's right next to the windowsill. I'm really looking forward to propagating this one, just like how I have. Yeah, I love the patterns of the leaves. It needs a bit of a clean, but I don't know. I really enjoy how every vine plant, they're all different. They all need different requirements, you know, to grow successfully. So yeah, no, it's this one's another very easy one in my opinion. Or maybe it's just because I've got a very small plant. I water her like once a month, something like that. And she's doing pretty good. I really like her. She's cute. And I just popped her in this little yellow pot. It's still in a nursery pot, but I think she looks cute in this little yellow one. My very last plant is my Monstera. My Monstera that desperately needs some water. The leaves are all curled up. She needs water. She needs water real bad. I want to plant her in a terracotta as well because I've seen people with their Monsteras and they grow so well. And I have her in this teeny tiny black nursery pot. She definitely needs to be repot. I hang her in this basket right near the back door, sort of window. Little basket. She's still pushing out some new leaves. She was about half this size when I first got her about a year ago. So I think she's done pretty good. A very hardy sort of plant. So that's my collection at the moment. I definitely want to be getting more. I'm going to be really focusing on the cuttings of my string of hearts. I really want to get string of turtles as well. I think it's called string of turtles. I've got quite a lot of like potting up to do, but those are all my indoor plants that have just been doing pretty good throughout the year in my new place. So I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, thanks for watching. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.